Hello, everyone. Welcome to Connections. I am Shawnta Jackson, and my purpose in life is to help people to help themselves and others. Connections with Shawnta Jackson is our opportunity as professionals to make the most out of professional networking, career advancement, and business growth with like-minded individuals who inform and inspire. We are streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube, so please do, and LinkedIn. We're also streaming live on LinkedIn, so please do enter your questions and comments in the chat box. And if you are watching the instant replay, please do enter your comments, as I do reply after the instant replay as well. At this time, I will bring on my next guest. He is the founder and CEO of Freeman Capital. He'll tell us a little bit about Freeman Capital, which is a African-American, or I like to say Black-owned, is a Black-owned financial planning and wealth advisement firm. And he'll tell us a little bit about his background, his services, and then also let's talk about generational wealth and what that means to us. At this time, I will bring on my guest, Calvin Williams Jr. Hey,
hello,
Calvin.
hello. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
Backstage, we were able to chat just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so for all of you who are watching, I actually came across and I found out about Freeman Capital. I was doing a online search, and I was looking for Black investment firms. And it was very hard to find. And I came across Freeman Capital. And so I went on the website, and I actually scheduled. So on their website, they have a calendar where, and we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go on into the show. But I actually went on the website. I was impressed. And it felt like a really good business that I could trust.
Mm.
And I went ahead and I scheduled my initial consultation. I never followed through with after the consultation, but then I learned a little bit about the founder and CEO, Calvin, and I connected with him on LinkedIn and invited him to the show. And he said yes, but I think it was it about 4 months?
I think it was.
About 4 months, Calvin. And at the time you said yes, but we had to do a tentative hold because at the time I believe you were doing an engagement with was it Goldman Sachs?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just had some meetings with them as well. So, we're in the middle of partnership talks and fundraising, and so just a lot going on. But no, I thank you for being patient with me and my schedule, and I'm excited to have this convo today.
No, I'm excited as well. And before we start and get in and take a deep dive into Freeman Capital and how you got started, I would first like to start the foundation with my viewers. And if you don't mind, if you could define for us what you mean by generational wealth. And I'm sorry. No. So what you mean by generational wealth, and also historically, why has generational wealth, in your opinion, been hard to attain historically by people of color, and particularly Black Americans?
Yeah, so the way that I would first just start off with the definition of generational wealth, it is leaving assets or tools. It could be, companies, but mainly assets that can be used by the next generation to further their dreams and ambitions. We have seen that manifest in terms of money that be directly passed down. Some folks do it through insurance policies or through businesses or through land, all of these assets that you build up in your lifespan with the intention of passing it on to the next generation to make their life better. Now, the reason why it's not worked so well in our community, I mean, that's a very heavy topic because, we are probably one of the few, if not the only groups here in America who have had systemic rules put in place to make it hard for us to pass on and build generational wealth. Then there were acts of just seizing property from generations. And then there have been acts around removing the information so that people can build, sustain, and pass on wealth. And so we unfortunately have lived, maybe still living in a culture and time where the system itself is not in our favor to build generational wealth. And all of that was kind of the context that led to me building Freeman Capital, because Part of it is information, part of it is access, and then part of it is tools that in our community we have had robbed from us, taken from us, and barred us from learning. And what we wanted to do at Freeman Capital was make it so easy that folks can get started for generally around the price of a Netflix subscription, so that we can remove the one-on-one hindrances to build generational wealth. So even though we might be behind now, what can we do in this day and time to take as many steps forward as we can to help out our next generation?
Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. I appreciate the historical context. And I encourage everyone to research, or then also for those of you who are watching, if you have any examples or any comments that you want to share, we welcome that as well. And so I appreciate the historical context. And then also when you mention generational wealth, it's you mention more than just passing down money. And in addition to land and other resources, you also mentioned life insurance.
Yeah.
Or just various types of insurances. And I think that's important, especially for folks who are probably not at the level in life where they feel that they can go back and make educational attainment or change career, or if they can't find a path, or if they're in this space where they can't figure out how can I increase my income, how it's too late for me, or I feel like it's too late for me to do investments, that's another resource, that's another asset. So I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah, I mean, because for us, what we focus on at Freeman Capital is comprehensive financial planning. Like, we want to help out with everything from budgeting to cash flow to investments to retirement to insurance, estate planning, and wills, right? So we want to make sure that we help our customers get their financial life in the best position that it can be, and then put them in position to pass on as much as they can, because the race that we are running is far more than just our lifespan. You know, we as a community, it's kind of ingrained in us to look out and take care of those who we are with. And so, you know, we all know folks who might be in the family where, oh, you know, one person in the family has gone the farthest and they're helping out everyone else in the family. So that's a part of our culture. And so we wanted to build that into our platform and our service, to where that if you don't know where or how to get started and what that journey is, that we can give you a wealth journey that is going to be proven to increase your net worth and put you in a position of confidence when it comes to your finances, and not worry and stress and fear, and really empower you to figure out, okay, what can I do with the time that I have, with the tools that I have? What can I do to put myself in a good position and set up those that I love and care for?
Yes. And as far as, so you mentioned, and I'm going to start off with financial planning.
Yep.
There are individuals who are watching, or just not even just financial planning, all of your services and products that you offer.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have folks who are employed full-time and they have benefits through their employer, and they have a 401k
Right.
or a pension through their employer. Is Freeman Capital for them?
Yeah, so it's especially built for them, because the thing that we help folk do who are in those situations is help to maximize those employer benefits. So oftentimes, you know, HR will just roll out these massive PDFs, like 50, 100 pages. No one ever really understands everything in it. So, you know, what our clients have done is that they can rely on us, so where they can upload their job's benefits, and then our planning team can help break down how to maximize those benefits, get those matching dollars, how to adjust your budget so that you can get it taken care of. Or if you're totally uninsured, how to look at the insurance of what your job is doing, and then figuring out what gaps you have. And so for us, the benefits that a company can provide are just one of the many tools that statistically are not taken advantage of within our community. So we want to enable our customers to best use those services to help them get as fast and far ahead as they can.
Okay. And then, but then you have the folks that, you know, there's a different type of customer, or there's different, you have the self-employed people
Yep.
that know absolutely nothing, or they're trying to figure it out on their own. And so I'll take myself for example. I do have a payroll service, and my company, I pay myself as an employee, and I offered certain services, kind of like HR, right? But they're really generic. But I feel like they're just not the right fit for me. So what I've done is I've kind of just individually, through my credit union, opened my IRA, have my individual savings. But I know better, and I know that and actually Freeman is on my list. It's on my to do within the next 30 days. Actually, probably within the next 2 weeks, to go ahead and sign up. But yeah, and so you also have, what about those folks that they have everything? They have their financial, they have their investments, they have their account with someone, and they're kind of managing their themselves. Are there any other services or any other offerings that Freeman has that would benefit them?
Yeah, so the same way that we can all Google and plan our own plans for like our health, but you still go to a doctor to make sure that you're good. That is one of the value adds that we can do at Freeman Capital, is that we can connect all of your various accounts and setups into the platform so that you can see it all at one place, and then have one person that can give you recommendations on how to best optimize that. Because just for example's sake, oftentimes people will invest through their job's retirement, and it will be in a diversified portfolio. And then they will invest on their own in some of the same companies that are in their retirement plan. And so you actually are decreasing your diversification and introducing more risk by not managing everything as a whole. And so within the platform, we can see things and then make recommendations on how to best optimize your cash. Because if you are duplicating the investment just in this one example, it might make more sense to contribute more to a pre-tax contribution, get a benefit on your W-2 and on your take-home pay, versus doing it post-tax somewhere else. And so the major value add that we will add, even to those who have multiple of these things set up, is that we'll help them bring it all together in one place, give them advice on how to optimize that, and on where to focus their available cash flow and investment to help them get them closer to increasing their net worth month over month.
Okay. And I have another question for you, but before I do, I want to acknowledge In Your Ear Radio in Las Vegas that's checking in on YouTube. Thanks for checking in. And then also we have Etna Jenkins, Reverend Jenkins, and she says, thankful for this wisdom on finances. And she's checking in from Prince George's County, Maryland. And actually, Reverend Jenkins, her comment that's regarding finances, it actually just made me think about the 8 dimensions of wellness. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but essentially, some people say 8, some people say 10, 12, but the 8 dimensions of wellness, or the dimensions of wellness, should I say, it's a concept that's basically saying, wellness is just not, it's physical. Mm-hmm. But it's mental, but it's also financial. It's also about your relationships, your educational attainment, workplace satisfaction. It's all, financial wellness. And so financial wellness and financial empowerment is a public health issue, or it's also referred to, we have this umbrella in public health called the social determinants of health. So a person, right. So finance in general, it impacts your health and your quality of life. So just like how we think about our health, and how earlier you mentioned health insurance, finances should be right beside that as well, right? Because if our financial situation is not secure, and then just think about the stress that causes on our physical body, and our lack of concentration, and the different things like that. So everything's kind of intertwined. So finance is a part of our everyday lives, and it was kind of Reverend Jenkins, her comment reminded me of that. And then also she says retirees are in need of help with financial wellness. Never thought it was a public health issue. And
Yeah, I'll that exact term I wasn't familiar with, but we definitely subscribe to the fact that finances is a conduit to overall wellness, because in this society, finance is what is the underpinning of our life. Like, we have to have the finances to to live. And I've been hella broke before. I know how stressful it is to be broke. How stressful it is to like avoid calls. You get those pink envelopes in the mail. Like, I've been there. I know the stress that can inflict on your body, and it lowers your overall mood. And coming out of that, back when I was in college, and then now it's like, what is the best way that we can add a exponential impact into the quality of life of our community and customers? And for us, it really came down to making the finance part be as simple and easy as possible. So that when the rest of the burdens of life are going on, the finances won't be one. And that is our goal for all of our customers. That's why we have unlimited chats on our platform, or calls as needed that you can schedule with your planner. Or we make it super simple by giving folks 2 to 3 actions per month for them to focus on to increase their net worth. Once that's done, you'll get more. But like, we don't want to overwhelm people because there's already so much going on. You got health, you got family. You're just trying to, you just need some me time too. And then you got your, your bills stacking up because that's not being managed right. And so for us, we see financial planning as the biggest opportunity to make an exponential impact in our community. Because at least for me, I don't think I ever remember a wealth manager knocking on my parents' door when I was growing up. Like, they weren't prospecting my family. And so we want to, reach our friends, our family, and help them get to a place of financial peace, regardless of what that may look like for them, just so that as they're living this life, they can live it to their best most without having to be stressed about if they're going to make it in later years.
Yes, definitely. And also, Reverend Jenkins, she put in another comment, and she said the number of deaths during the pandemic indicates the need to prepare for loss of life.
Yeah, this is so true. It is truly sad how the pandemic has accelerated so many things. And for us, that's why we do include insurance as part of the offerings that we can take care of, both term and whole life. Because for many folks in our community, like you said, they may not be able to get a whole new career, but through a properly planned insurance policy, they can ensure that when that time comes of passing on, they're not passing on debts and stress, because already the loss of the loved one is already emotionally it's already heartbreaking. Don't add finances on top of that. And so for us, the way that we think about it is that it can give you peace of mind, give your family peace of mind, and depending on if your budget will permit you, your passing could be a moment to where your family takes a leap forward by that insurance policy paying out. And so, those are the types of convos that our planning team has with our customers as well, because it's unfortunate, but as COVID has shown too, no one lives forever. And especially in times like this, it's important to make sure that when people are passing on, that they can have a positive memory. Like, hey, I'll focus on the memories that we had, not the burden that someone is leaving me. And that's why we see it as just so critical.
Okay, and then we have another question in your ear radio host, Latoya Watry. She wants to know, are there insurance plans that pay out immediately to cover funeral costs?
So I'll say that it can depend on your state, but yes, there are those types of options out, and we'll be happy to talk to folks one-on-one to kind of figure that out for like you and your specific situation. As the website said, that you can go there and schedule a free call. Like, we want to make this thing simple and easy. So those are great questions to talk one-on-one with your planner. But yes, those types of things need to be planned for, or if that won't work for you in your state, look at what can you do in terms of some cash reserves or savings to help take care of some of that as well. But that's all things that can be included in your overall your financial plan that we will build for you.
Okay. And speaking of the website, so I'll go back. It's freemancapital.co. It's not missing a letter. It's freemancapital.co. And I want to talk more just about you and your background before we end the discussion. But before we do, you mentioned kind of like Netflix pricing for Freeman Capital.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the packages or the offerings or the starting price point or something so folks can have a better understanding?
Yeah, so the way that our service works is that we have we have three main services that we help out with. One is financial planning, which is helping you to get organized, building you a plan, giving you monthly or weekly actions for you to complete that would help you to increase your net worth, and we stay there with you. We can do your investment management. So if you want to move money to us, we can manage it for you or just give you advice where you have it. And then third is around insurance. And so each one of those services has its own tier of pricing, but our core service is around the financial planning. And that has two main plans. One that is $15, around $15 per month, and then the second one that's $49 per month, which has unlimited chat, unlimited planning, and then you can schedule a call as needed. That we are there for you. So like, there's no cap on number of calls that you can have in a month, and that is our core service that is there to really help folks get up and running. And then the rest, the investment management and the insurance, that's more customized to your specific needs. But really, the planning is the beginning. And really, we see that most of our folks who are just getting started in planning, that what we call our hustle plan, which is $49 per month, is really where folks need to start and stay at.
Thanks. And that's very reasonable and very affordable. And I'm embarrassed at myself because I just didn't follow through with
Don't worry, the pricing's still there. So you still got time. You still got time to get in.
And then also, as far as the investment management, as I mentioned, when I was online looking for Black-owned investment firms, it was very hard to find. So from my understanding, Freeman Capital is the only Black-owned investment firm that's registered with the Security Exchange Commission, SEC.
Yeah, so as far as we can tell, in terms of the automated financial planning firms and wealth management, we're the only one that is registered with the SEC. If someone is out there, let me know and I'll stop saying it. But until then, I mean, we have searched and we can't find anyone else who's doing what we are doing. And in many ways, of course, we're happy to be first, but it's also sad because it's 2021. But we just take it as our responsibility to help our folks as we can, being that we are one of, if not the only one out there.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of responsibility, are there, as it relates, and so now I'm kind of segueing into social corporate responsibility,
Yes.
Are there any particular causes that Freeman Capital or particular causes that you as an individual take up or support?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we see is that when I look at this country, I see that those with economic means are able to make the most impact in this country. And so the best thing that we can do is to help, the Freeman community, our community as a whole, progress as quickly as they can so that they can get into a place of leveraging their economic advantages to move forward their social justices and their social cares. And so for us as a platform, we see that it is our duty to make it accessible, make it actionable, and then make it easy to follow so that we can help our customers grow their assets, grow their wealth, and then they can then use that to then donate to campaigns or get involved with the political system. And so for us, it really comes down to equal access and then providing equitable services to help folk grow and build their wealth. And then by doing that, we will help our community stand on our platform to then let their voices be heard. And we see that as being the number one way that we can make an impact in this country. Because holistically, when you really look at how policies and things are getting done, they're being done with economic backing. And so the way to help that happen in our perspective is help as many people as we can get in a position to where they can feel comfortable making a contribution or getting involved with their own time, so that we as a community can let all of our voices be heard.
Yes, definitely. And in addition to making contributions, purchasing and investing.
Oh yes,
and
definitely.
building.
Yes, definitely.
And lending.
Yeah, and so for us, I am very proud of the fact that our team is extremely diverse. Our third-party contractors are diverse as well. We make that a actual stable point to make sure that we're hiring more women, we're hiring more people of color who own these firms, because to us, that's just a way that we can really have some group economics and set up spheres of influence and change by leveraging our success and then reinvesting that into other companies and folks who can then hopefully replicate that on throughout the system.
Yes, and if I had to choose a word based off of what you said, like a theme, there's intentionality.
Oh yes.
And also another theme is, and just realistically speaking, in this country, money talks.
So that's the thing. Like, I think that there are many ways to change things in this country, but the thing that I've seen that's always worked is economically. And so when I thought about how can I help out our world, and because let's just speak very frankly, like this is not just a Black issue. The majority of this the majority of this country is going to be a person of color in the next 20 to 30 years. And if the net worth and earning potential of the majority of the country does not increase, then the government that taxes its citizens to pay for social programs is going to be impacted. And so the rich, is going to be hard to increase taxes on them. Like, folks might want to do it, whatever, but I'm just being like realistic. It's not really happening. And so that the tax base and our quality of life as a country can continue, we have to invest in communities of color, people of color, giving them the tools, the access and education that they need to increase their net worth, increase their earning potential, because we will be the ones that have to pay for this country's tax bill. And so like, to be very, very clear, like I am on these panels a lot, and they make it look like it's just a Black and brown thing. This will soon be a American thing. Now, we might be out front trying to solve it, but like, we are waiting for and need others to catch this revelation, because either we're going to live in a two-tier system, which is going to have a whole bunch of problems, or we just have to help people like you and I grow and build their wealth.
Yes, and what you just spoke of is the platform that Martin Luther King and his peers and supporters and advocates were using for the Poor People's Campaign. And like you said, it's an American issue, and it's either going to be two classes, the rich and the poor. If we continue, and I don't think it's intentional, but it's just, it's just an outcome. I thank you so much for your time and for this conversation. It was very informative and inspiring. And as my mother says, Belinda Norwood checking in from Las Vegas, good morning. This is very informative information. Great show. And so Connections, I've mentioned that Connections is an opportunity for us as professionals to network, and then also career advancement and business growth. Are there any networking opportunities that you are seeking, or any potential partnerships that you are seeking or would like to share with our folks who are watching, and in particular, our folks on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so the really powerful thing is that we have uncovered a way that we can partner with brands, with influencers, with communities of influence, and they can share the message of Freeman. We have, they can be, of course, we can build a win-win really relationship for all folks, but we're looking for those types of partners to help us share this message of wealth building for all. And then we can find ways to kind of work together to make it very equitable. So, we're excited for those, and that really is our focus from now through the end of 2022, is to just find more folks that share in this mission of equality and like growing wealth for our community, and then working with them to get this message out.
And and this is for across the United States, correct?
All 50 states.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. I am Shawnta Jackson, and this is Connections with Shawnta Jackson. And my guest today is Calvin Williams Jr., founder and CEO of Freeman Capital. And if you'd like to learn more about Freeman Capital, please do visit freemancapital.co. Also, you can connect with Calvin on LinkedIn if you want to make a serious professional connection. We stream live on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And so I'll see you next week. And as always, thank you for joining, and have a great day.